If you're sending out cold emails in 2025 and you're not using clay.com, you're missing out. It's single-handedly the most revolutionary tool there is in the space right now, and it's basically totally overhauled the way that my agency approaches building lists. So if you're a beginner, you have no idea how clay.com works and it seems overwhelming, strap in, here's everything you need to know to get started. So who am I? My name's Frank. I'm the founder of Flowyo. We send hundreds of thousands of emails on behalf of our clients every single month. So I can say with firsthand experience, Clay is absolutely worth it. So for context, you do need the $349 Explorer plan in order to make functional use of the APIs, which is very necessary. It is on the more pricey side, but that being said, if all you're doing with Clay is just streamlining your current processes, so your email verification, enrichment, your B2B to B2C verification, normalizing company names, etc., just doing that alone on Clay is going to save you tens, if not hundreds of hours, which is absolutely worth it. We're going to start by creating a workbook. In a workbook, you can have multiple tables and they can interact with each other. So we're going to call this workbook marketing just because for the sake of this video, I'm going to import 1,000 marketing leads from Apollo. Right, there we go. Complete import. So all of our columns are populating now. We have first name, last name, email, the basics. The first thing you always want to do is verify whether the emails are safe to send to. This is because platforms like Apollo, they'll probably have 30% invalid or catch-all emails just because they scraped data that was, a year or two ago. So it is now inactive. It might be catch-all emails, etc. So you have to make sure to check. There's multiple providers you can use for this: Million Verifier, Dbounce, LeadMagic, etc. We're currently using LeadMagic for all of our verification just because in terms of speed, it blows every other platform out of the water. So here's the validate email module. The first most important thing you need to understand about Clay is in order to save money, you should always be using your own API keys instead of their accounts. So as you can see, there's two options I have here. One, which is called Lead Magic that I created on my own. The second called Clay-Managed Lead Magic account. This comes with every account, and they have this for every native integration where they're upcharging you to use their API basically. So I'm going to use my own. In order to set up your own, in order to not get upcharged, what you want to do is add your own connection here. So we can do Lead Magic. And then I'm not going to set it up for the sake of this video. If you wanted to find the API key for Lead Magic, all it is at the bottom left, you click your profile and it says API key. All right, now obviously we're going to need the email account in order to verify it. We're going to do only safe to send email, so we're not going to get catch-alls. And here's the second important feature I want to go over, which is auto updates. Auto update exists for both modules like this, so integrations, as well as for the entire table. What auto update does is if you have auto update turned on, and let's say you run or you add 1,000 rows to your table, then all of the integrations are automatically going to run no matter what. So this is great for efficiency, obviously, because you don't have to run anything separately, and that's part of the magic of Clay. But at the same time, if you're a beginner and you're just playing around with integrations, you should turn it off so you don't waste all your credits. Okay, now this is another amazing part of Clay, and I know I've said it many times, but it's truly just that great. They have this formula creator where you can generate formulas purely based on natural language. So in this case, we would only want to validate emails if they actually existed. So we do if email is not empty. It's going to generate the formula you can see at the bottom, and this looks correct because the emails exist, so we're going to output. We're going to click continue to add fields. We're just going to keep this status, which is if it tells us if it's valid or invalid. Substatus will tell us if it's a catch-all or valid catch-all. None of that really matters to us right now because we're going to send if it's valid, if it's invalid or not, or if it's risky or not. So we're just going to run it for 10 rows for demonstration purposes. So there we go. 10 rows are getting verified. And we have 4 valid emails. Now, despite the fact that I have auto update on at the bottom of this integration. The reason it isn't automatically running for every row is because it's off here. As you can see, auto update columns is enabled, but sometimes you have to turn it off and then you have to turn it back on. Update cells. There we go. Now it's going to run for every single cell in the table. Okay, the next thing we want to do is, now that we validated the current list of emails we have, we want to enrich the emails that we don't have. So basically, if Apollo didn't provide that email, we're going to provide some information about the company, so the company name or the company domain, in order to get that email. So in order to do this, I already know I have to do this ahead of time, which is you must normalize the website URL. So this is what we're going to give to LeadMagic's email enrichment, but they only take in domain. So we should add a column to the right. I'm going to do add enrichment again. And there's something called normalize company name. I'm going to click this. So we're going to normalize the URL. The way we want it normalized is the bottom here. So just apple.com if it's Apple. And then obviously I'm going to have auto update on. We're going to run it for everything. So no need for filters. Save and run for 999. All right, well, that's queuing up. We're now going to add the find email enrichment. So we're going to go to LeadMagic again because it also has great find work emails. We're going to click here. We're going to use our LeadMagic API key. And I forgot one thing, and I'm actually going to do it right now. We also need the person's phone name. Unfortunately, I can only select either the first or the last right now, so I'm going to have to create that separately. The way I'm going to do that is I'm going to create a field to the left of this, which is going to be a formula. We're just going to do concatenate first and last. And I didn't add a space. Concatenate first. I'm going to create a manual space like that, and last. There we go. Now we have the full name from the first name and the last name that we can use for enrichment. And you can see the normalized domains are also almost all done. So now let's add an enrichment. LeadMagic, find work email. Auto update is on, and we're going to only run this. Run if email doesn't exist. Because if it does exist, then we've already verified it. So we're only looking for emails that don't currently exist. We're going to click generate. There we go, output. Because all of these emails already exist, it's not going to run for any of these rows. Okay, and I'm going to make sure this is the normalized URL, and everything else looks good. So we're going to click continue to add fields. We want to see the status as well. Save, run for 999 rows. While this is running, I also want to show you one more feature which makes Clay awesome. It's called auto dedupe. Currently it's disabled, and fortunately I can't click on it, but basically what it does is you can set to deduplicate anything in your list. So if I want to deduplicate emails because there's multiple of the same emails at the same time, let's say I'm getting multiple marketing lists from Apollo, so there's obviously going to be overlap, then I can just have this automatically deduplicate everything. I'm not sure why it's working right now, but it works every time, so don't worry about that. Now, last thing, we have the valid emails. We're now going to find emails that we don't currently have. Now we're going to merge everything else. So merge all the emails together. So output email if the verification is valid. So the status of the verification here equals valid, and output work email. I'm going to click email here. So this is the email that we found with LeadMagic manually. We're going to output it if its status is also valid. So status here equals valid. Generate the formula. There we go. It's saying false right now. We don't want it to say anything, so output otherwise. There we go. So we have all of the valid emails that we either found or validated in this list. So you can see if it's invalid, there's no email. If it's valid, it's here. And if we found an email, then it's also going to be in this list. So we now have all of the valid emails. Next thing we're going to do is normalize the company names. That's to say, if we have a company name that's all capitalized or has LOC at the end, anything that wouldn't appear in normal conversation, we're going to strip those out. We're going to add enrichment and use Clay's normalized company feature, which is right here. Just for context about this feature, it's not going to be as good as if you were to actually use ChatGPT to normalize the company name. The reason is because this is only going to strip things like Inc. or Incorporated or LOC, stuff like that. It's not actually going to do a full-fledged normalization. If I had a company called Flowyo Agency, this is only going to leave Flowyo Agency. But if I was in a cold email, I would just say Flowyo, not Flowyo Agency. So you do need ChatGPT for better normalization. That being said, I'm going to show how to use ChatGPT later. So that's why I'm just going to use this integration right now. So company name is organization name, normalize the case, and auto run. Continue to add normalized name. There we go. Run for 999. Or actually, in fact, I'm not going to run it for 999. I'm just going to use this to say run if the email is equal to valid, is not empty. That way, we're not wasting any unneeded space here. So I'm going to rerun it. There we go. Now it says if there's no valid email, we don't need to normalize the company because we're never to send to this company anyways. So now that we have the normalized company names, we're going to try and determine if this is a marketing agency, and if it is a marketing agency, if it's a B2B one or B2C one. So in the case of us running lead gen, we'd only target B2B marketing agencies because their ticketing sizes are typically higher, and it's very hard to ticket consumers with cold email. So we're going to do this. Now we're going to use AI for this purpose. First thing we're going to do with AI is use Claygen. There's two versions that you're ever going to use, which is the web research and the create or modify content. Web research is as it says, it allows you to actually research the website itself, whereas create or modify content is kind of what you get in a normal ChatGPT window, assuming you don't have access to the internet. So let's do Claygen here. What we want to do is first create a summary of the website, and then therefore afterwards we can use that summary to determine if it's B2B or B2C. We're just going to say create a company summary for the following based on the following website. We're just going to put the domain here. I'm not going to make it overly complicated. They have a generate feature which you can put it into natural language and then it's going to generate an entire prompt. There we go. So it's going to give us an awesome optimized prompt here, except I'm just going to check through it. Yep, that looks good. So we have the summary here. We're going to run this. Run if normalized company name is not empty. So just following along the loop. Output. And yeah, this looks good. Last thing is, again, don't use the native AI integration on Clay because it's going to charge you credits, which are incredibly expensive. You should instead use ChatGPT 4.0 Mini. And then here, you can again add your own API key. And right now, ChatGPT 4.0 Mini is the absolute sweet spot for all your use cases. It's smart enough to basically do anything, but at the same time, it costs fractions of a cent per run, so it's incredibly cost effective. We're going to run it for all 999 rows. It's going to start running. While the company summary is forming, we're also going to start to make add another integration. Use AI, configure, and now we're going to take that summary and determine if it's a B2B or B2C marketing agency. So 4.0 Mini. Again, I'm not going to make the prompts complicated. There's tons of content about how to make good prompts. In this case, I'll just do based on the company summary below. determine if this is a B2B marketing agency or a B2C marketing agency. If B2B, write B2B with no other text. You always want to say no other text, otherwise it's going to explain why. If B2C, write B2C with no other text. There we go. Last thing, if it's not a marketing agency at all, return. So you realize the reason why I'm putting two quotes is because ChatGPT is always prompted to say something. So in this case, I'm telling it to literally return nothing by putting nothing between the quotes. If you were just to tell it to say return empty, it's again going to give an explanation. Now we're going to continue on the loop. Whoops. Company summary. So here's the company summary right here. And then we're going to ignore all of this for now. Again, run only if company summary is not empty. And I want to show you one nuance here. The reason why I keep picking the... One sec, let me move my camera out of the way. The reason why I keep picking the bottom here, which says company summary, instead of company summary here, is because if I was to pick this, it's going to give me all this JSON, whereas I only want the summary alone. So I'm going to click generate. And output is correct. And then we're going to have auto update on, save, run for 999 rows. So now it's going to help me start determining whether it's a B2B or B2C agency. All right, so the company summaries are just about done now. I just want to show you the cost of AI and how you can do this at scale. So you can see here, it's 0.0008 to run the Clayagent summary, which I believe is 8% of a cent, which is just so incredibly cheap. So that's why ChatGPT 4.0 mini plus Clayagent was uniquely the unlock for Clay to become just like so important in the industry, because this has made doing stuff like this at scale incredibly cheap. Now the agency's type, similar story, 0.00004, so even cheaper. Now that both of these are done, we're going to add enrichments, and the last thing we're going to do is push these contacts to a campaign. So we're going to wait for smart lead, add lead to campaign. I'm not actually going to do it because I don't want to leak any client names clicking on this, but here's the email address. Remember to always map the merged email address column. We'll have the first name, the last name, and nothing else seems necessary for now. Lastly, we're going to run if, scroll to the bottom, agency type equals B2B, because we only want to do outbound to B2B marketing agencies. There you go. Now, since I didn't select a client or campaign, I can't actually start this, but you get the idea. You just click save and all of them are going to populate in Smart Lead. So this is everything you need to know to master Clay as a beginner. This is basically what we put every single table through. And I recommend turning everything we've done in this video into a template so you can just use it over and over, and you can just import the CSV into the template. So it's going to do all these processes automatically next time. I hope this was really helpful. I hope it demonstrated the power of Clay for cold email. And like, subscribe, comment if you want to see more content like this. Appreciate it.